2015년 2월 18일 오후 7시 54분.
Unit 8. Birds are
Birds
animals.
are animals.
Reading focus.
Rating focus.
What are some birds?
What are some birds?
What do most
What do
birds
most birds
look like?
look like?
What are some
What are
different
some
birds?
different birds?
Before you read,
Before you read,
keywords.
keywords.
Bird,
Birds.
eagle,
Eagle.
peacock,
Peacock.
chicken,
Chicken.
duck,
Duck.
ostrich,
Ostrich.
kiwi,
Kiwi.
penguin.
Penguin.
A bird's body
A bird's
parts.
body parts.
Wings,
Wings.
feathers,
Feathers.
tail,
Tail.
beak.
Beak.
Power verbs
Power verbs
have in common.
have in common.
Birds have
Birds have
feathers
feathers
in
in
common.
common.
Cover.
Cover.
Feathers
Feathers
cover
cover
a
a
bird's body.
bird's body.
Peck at.
Peck at.
Birds
Birds
peck
peck
at
at
food
food
with their
with their
beaks.
beaks.
Sit on.
Sit on.
Birds
Birds
sit
sit
on their eggs.
eggs.
Keep warm.
Keep warm.
Birds keep
Birds
their
keep
eggs
their
warm.
eggs warm.
Feed.
Feed.
Parent
Parent
birds
birds
feed
feed baby birds.
Word families.
Bird families.
How a bird
How
grows.
a bird grows.
Eggs.
Eggs.
Hatch.
Hatch.
Feed.
Feed.
Have feathers.
Have feathers.
Can fly.
Can fly.
Adult bird.
Adult bird.
Birds are animals.
Birds are animals.
Look at the pictures.
Look at the pictures.
Eagle.
Eagle.
Chicken.
Chicken.
Duck.
Duck.
Peacock.
Peacock.
What do they
What
have
do they
in
have
common?
in common?
They are all
They
birds.
are all birds.
Birds are
Birds
animals.
are animals.
There are many
There are
different
many
kinds
different
of
kinds
birds.
of birds.
Birds have
Birds
feathers.
have feathers.
These cover
These
their
cover
bodies.
their bodies.
Birds also
Birds
have
also
wings.
have wings.
Most birds
Most
use
birds
their
use their
wings
wings
to fly.
to fly.
Birds have
Birds
beaks
have
too.
beaks too.
These are their
These are
mouths.
their mouths.
Birds peck
Birds
at
peck
food
at food
with their
with their
beaks.
beaks.
Birds lay
Birds
eggs
lay
in
eggs
nests.
in nests.
Most birds
Most birds
sit
sit
on their
on
eggs.
their eggs.
This keeps
This
their
keeps
eggs
their
warm.
eggs warm.
Later,
Later,
the eggs
the
hatch
eggs
and
hatch
baby
and
birds
baby
are
birds
born.
are born.
When birds
When
hatch,
birds
they
hatch,
cannot
they
fly.
cannot fly.
Parent birds
Parent
feed
birds
them.
feed them.
Some birds
Some
are
birds
very
are very
large.
large.
Ostriches,
Ostriches
are
are
huge
huge
birds.
birds.
They cannot
They
fly,
cannot fly,
but they can
but
run
they can
very
run
fast.
very fast.
Kiwis
Kiwis
cannot
cannot
fly
fly
either.
either.
Birds are animals.
Birds are animals.
Look at the pictures.
Look at the pictures.
Eagle,
Eagle,
chicken,
chicken,
duck,
duck,
peacock.
peacock.
What do they have in common?
What do they have in common?
They are all birds.
They are all birds.
Birds are animals.
Birds are animals.
There are many different kinds of birds.
There are many different kinds of birds.
Birds have feathers.
Birds have feathers.
These cover their bodies.
These cover their bodies.
Birds also have wings.
Birds also have wings.
Most birds use their wings to fly.
Most birds use their wings to fly.
Birds have beaks too.
Birds have beaks too.
These are their mouths.
These are their mouths.
Birds peck at food with their beaks.
Birds peck at food with their beaks.
Birds lay eggs in nests.
Birds lay eggs in nests. Most birds sit on their eggs.
This keeps their eggs warm.
This keeps their eggs warm.
Later, the eggs hatch and baby birds are born.
Later, the eggs hatch and baby birds are born.
When birds hatch, they cannot fly.
When birds hatch, they cannot fly.
Parent birds feed them.
Parent birds feed them.
Some birds are very large.
Some birds are very large.
Ostriches are huge birds.
Ostriches are huge birds.
They cannot fly, but they can run very fast.
They cannot fly, but they can run very fast.
Kiwis cannot fly either.
Kiwis cannot fly either.
Chapter 3. Language.
Language.
Mathematics.
Mathematics.
Visual arts.
Visual art.
Music.
Music.
Unit 9. The city
The
mouse,
city
and
mouse
the country
and the
mouse.
country mouse.
Reading focus.
Reading focus.
Who is in the story?
Who is in the story?
How are the
How are
country,
the country
and
and
city
city
different?
different?
Why did the
Why did the country mouse go back home?
Before you read.
Before you read.
Keyword.
Keywords.
Who is in the story?
Who is in the story?
The city
The
mouse.
city
The
mouse.
country mouse.
The country mouse.
Cat.
Cat.
Meals.
Meals.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Lunch.
Lunch.
Dinner.
Dinner.
Dining table.
Dining table.
Food.
Food.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Fruit.
Fruit.
Bread.
Bread.
Meat.
Meat.
Potato.
Potato.
Cake.
Cake.
Power verbs.
Power verbs.
Visit.
Visit.
The city
The
mouse
city mouse
visited his friend.
friend.
Set the table.
Set the table.
He set
He
the
set
table.
the table.
Serve.
Serve.
He
He
served
served the
food.
food.
Taste.
Taste.
He
He
tasted,
tasted
some
some
cheese.
cheese.
Return.
Return.
He
He
returned,
returned
to his house.
house.
Arrive.
Arrive.
They
They
arrived,
arrived
at the
the
house.
house.
Finish.
Finish.
They could
They
not
could
finish,
not finish
their
their
dinner.
dinner.
Pass.
Pass.
A few
A
minutes
few
passed.
minutes passed.
Go back.
Go back.
He went
He
back,
went
to, the
back
country.
to the country.
Word families.
Bird families.
Frightened.
Frightened.
Surprised.
Surprised.
One mouse.
A mouse.
Two mice.
2 mice.
The city mouse
The
and
city
the
mouse
country
and the
mouse.
country mouse.
Once upon a time, there were
Once
two
upon a
mice.
time there were 2 mice.
They were friends.
They were friends.
One mouse
One
lived
mouse
in a small
lived in a
house
small
in the
house
country.
in the country.
The other
The
mouse
other mouse
lived in a large
house
house
in the city.
One day,
One day,
the city
the
mouse
city
went
mouse
to
went to
visit
visit his friend
in
in
the
the country.
The country
The
mouse
country
was
mouse
so
was
happy
so happy to see the city mouse.
He set the
He
table,
set the
for,
table
dinner.
for dinner.
He served,
He served some pieces
corn,
of corn,
green peas,
green
and
peas,
berries.
and berries.
The city
The
mouse
city
looked
mouse
around
looked
the
around
table,
the table
and
and
said,
said,
"Oh my,
"Oh my,
this is all
this
you
is
have.
all you have?
Is this
Is
really
this
dinner?
really dinner?
How can you
How
eat
can you
such
eat such
plain food every day, my
my
friend?"
friend?
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry,"
answered the country
answered the
mouse.
country mouse.
But this is
But
what we
this is
eat
what
in
they
the
eat in the
country
country
every day, he said.
He said,
Come with me
"Come
to
with
the
me to
city,
the city,"
said the city
said the
mouse.
city mouse.
What is in the
"What
city?
is in the city?"
asked the country
asked the
mouse.
country mouse.
There is
"There is
a
a lot of delicious food,"
answered the city mouse.
answered the city mouse.
Once you have
"Once you
tasted,
have tasted
all the wonderful
wonderful food,
you will
you
never,
will never
want to return
to the country."
So the two mice went to the city. The mice walked for a long time. At last,
At last,
they
they
arrived
arrived at the city
mouse's
mouse's home.
He lived
He
in a
lived in
very
a
big
very
house.
big house.
You must
You
be
must be
hungry.
hungry.
We will
We
have
will
dinner
have
soon,
dinner soon,
said the city
said the
mouse.
city mouse.
He
He
invited
invited his friend
into a
into a large kitchen.
Help
Help
yourself.
yourself.
There is enough
There's
food
enough
for
food
us,
for us,
said the city
said the
mouse.
city mouse.
On
On
the huge dining
table,
table,
there was a lot of delicious food.
There were
There were
lots of bread and
cheese.
There were
There were lots
of
of meat and potatoes.
There were
There were fruits and cakes too. See,
said the city
said the
mouse.
city mouse.
This
This is how we eat in the city
every
every
day.
day.
You were right.
You were right, my friend.
This is a very good
dinner,
answered the
answered the country mouse.
The two mice began
The two mice began to eat dinner.
Just then
Just then the door opened,
and
and they saw a cat coming.
Run!
Run,
shouted
shouted the city mouse.
The
The two mice quickly ran through a small hole in the wall. Phew,
That was
that was close,
said the city
said the city mouse.
Just wait
Just wait here for a while,
and then we can
then we can finish our dinner.
But
But the country mouse was very frightened.
He could
He could not even talk.
A few
A few minutes passed.
Let's go
Let's
back
go
and
back
eat,
and eat,
said the
said the city mouse.
No, thank you,
No,
my
thank
friend,
you, my friend,
said the country
said the
mouse.
country mouse.
I'm going
I'm
back
going
to the
back to
country.
the country.
I like
I
my
like my
simple
simple
house.
house.
There is not
There's not much
food
food in my house,
but I can
but I
eat
can
it
eat
in
it in
peace.
peace.
Goodbye, my
Goodbye,
friend.
my friend.
The country
The
mouse
country
went
mouse
back to
went
his
back to
home.
his home.
The city mouse
The
and
city
the
mouse
country
and the
mouse.
country mouse.
Once upon a time, there were two mice.
Once upon a time, there were two mice.
They were friends.
They were friends.
One mouse lived in a small house in the country.
One mouse lived in a small house in the country.
The other mouse lived in a large house in the city.
The other mouse lived in a large house in the city.
One day, the city mouse went to visit his friend in the country.
One day, the city mouse went to visit his friend in the
The
country.
country mouse was so happy to see the city mouse.
The country mouse was so happy to see the city mouse.
He set the table for dinner.
He set the table for dinner.
He served some pieces of corn, green peas, and berries.
He served some pieces of
The
corn,
city
green
mouse
peas, and
looked around the
berries.
table and said,
The city mouse looked around the table and said,
"Oh my, this is all you have?
"Oh my, this
Is
is all you
really
have.
dinner?
Is this really dinner?
How can you eat such plain food every day, my friend?"
How can you eat such plain food every day, my friend?"
"I'm sorry," answered the country mouse,
"I'm sorry," answered the country mouse.
"but this is what we eat in the country every day," he said.
"But this is what we eat in the country every day," he said.
"Come with me to the city," said the city mouse.
"Come with me to the city," said the city mouse.
"What is in the city?" asked the country mouse.
"What is in the city?" asked the country mouse.
"There is a lot of delicious food," answered the city mouse.
"There's a lot of delicious food," answered the city mouse.
"Once you have tasted all the wonderful food, you will never want to return to the country."
Once you have tasted all the wonderful food, you will never want to return to
So
the
the
country.
two mice went to the city.
So the two mice went to the city.
The mice walked for a long time.
The mice walked for a long time.
At last, they arrived at the city mouse's home.
At last, they arrived at the city mouse's home.
He lived in a very big house.
He lived in a very big house.
"You must be hungry. We will have dinner soon,"
You-
said the city mouse.
"You must be hungry. We will have dinner soon," said the city mouse.
He invited his friend into a large kitchen.
He invited his friend into a large kitchen.
"Help yourself. There is enough food for us," said the city mouse.
"Help yourself. There is enough food for us," said the city
On the
mouse.
huge dining table, there was a lot of delicious food.
On the huge dining table,
There
there
were
was
lots
a
of
lot
bread
of delicious
and
food.
cheese.
There were lots of bread and cheese.
There were lots of meat and potatoes.
There were lots of bread and potatoes.
There were fruits and cakes
too.
There were 2 cakes, a fruit
See?
and cakes too.
Said the city mouse.
See, said the city mouse.
This is how we eat in this city every day.
This is how we eat in the city every day.
You were right, my friend. This is a very good dinner, answered the country mouse.
You were right, my friend. This is a very good dinner, answered the country
The
mouse.
2 mice began to eat the dinner.
The 2 mice began to eat the dinner.
Just then the door opened, and they saw a cat coming.
Just then the door opened and they saw a cat coming.
Run! Shouted the city mouse.
Run! Shouted the city mouse.
The 2 mice quickly ran through a small hole in the wall.
The 2 mice quickly ran through a hole in the wall.
Phew, that was close, said the city mouse.
Phew, that was close, said the city mouse.
Just wait here for a while, and then we can finish our dinner.
Just wait here for a while, then we can finish our dinner.
But the country mouse was very frightened.
But the country mouse was
He could
very
not even talk.
frightened. He couldn't even talk.
A few minutes passed.
A few minutes passed.
Let's go back and eat, said the city mouse.
Let's go back and eat, said the city mouse.
No, thank you, my friend, said the country mouse.
No, thank you, my friend, said the country mouse.
I'm going back to the country. I like my simple house.
I'm going back to the country. I like my simple house.
There is not much food at my house,
There is not much food in my house,
but I can eat it in peace.
but I can
Goodbye,
eat in
my
peace.
friend.
Goodbye, my friend.
The country mouse went back to his home.
The country mouse went back to his home.
Unit 10. Counting to 100.
Counting to 100.
Reading focus.
Reading focus.
How high can
How
you
high
count?
can you count?
Can you count
Can
to
you
100
count to
by
100 by
tens?
tens?
Can you count
Can you count
backwards?
backwards?
Before you read.
Before you read.
Keywords.
Keywords.
Counting by
Counting by
tens.
tens.
10,
10,
20,
20,
30,
30,
40,
40,
50,
50,
60,
60,
70,
70,
80,
80,
90,
90,
100.
100.
Counting by
Counting by
fives.
fives.
5,
5,
10,
10,
15,
15,
20,
20,
25,
25,
30,
30,
35,
35,
40,
40,
45,
45,
50,
50,
55,
55,
60,
60,
65,
65,
70,
70,
75,
75,
80,
80,
85,
85,
90,
90,
95,
95,
100.
100.
Power verb.
Power verb.
Continue.
Continue.
Let's
Let's
continue
continue
counting.
counting.
Count by
Count by
tens.
tens.
I can
I
count
can
by
count by
tens.
tens.
Find out.
Find out.
Let's find
Let's
out
find
the
out
answer.
the answer.
Count by fives.
Count by fives.
I can
I
count
can
by
count by
fives.
fives.
Count backward.
Count backward.
Let's count
Let's
backward.
count backward.
Try.
Try.
Try counting
Try counting
backward
backward
from 20
from
to
10
10.
to 10.
Practice.
Practice.
Practice
Practice
counting out
counting
loud.
out loud.
Be able to.
Be able to.
He is
He
able
is
to
able
count
to
backward.
count backward.
Word families.
Word families.
Above.
Above.
What numbers,
What numbers
are
are
above
above
5?
5?
Between.
Between.
Say the numbers,
Say the numbers
between,
between
1
1
and 10.
and 10.
Counting to
Counting
100.
to 100.
You can
You
count
can
from 1
count
to
from
20.
1 to 20.
1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
11,
11,
12,
12,
13,
13,